So she's supposed to.
And your left.
Time to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We are starting the council meeting special. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Julie.
Mayor Mahler,
Present.
Councilor Gorley. Here. Councilor Trask,
Here.
Councilor Gerson. Councilor Gerson,
Diane.
Diana, are you present?
Diane, can you hear us?
Diane, can you hear us?
Maybe accidentally muted herself, but
I think
she's,
she may have muted herself.
Here.
there we go.
Okay, she has said she's present.
There is a delay.
There's a
Here.
delay.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Okay,
Councilor Nash,
Here.
Councilor Goebel,
I'm here.
Yes, I can hear you.
Councilor Coleman,
Here.
Oh, she's
all present.
let the record show we have 7 present with no absent. Start off any recognition of visitors and hearing and petitions, which there is none. We'll go on to new business. Request for council action, resolution number 4 for 2020, declaring state of emergency proclamation.
I think we're all very aware of the issues facing the world right now with the COVID-19 pandemic. As such, we're requesting council to declare a state of emergency. The state of emergency will allow us to act quickly and more efficiently in manners which are necessary to help with the safety of our community and our staff.
Any questions of councilors?
Ray, can you give us an example, please, of how this will help our staff and our city employees, please?
Mainly, it allows us to expedite in the purchase or acquisition of those items we would deem necessary for the emergency. That's probably the biggest issue. It does some other things as far as allowing us the ability to work directly with other agencies and also implementing different things with personnel.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I'd like to request that just because of the gravity of this situation, as well as we're doing this video conferencing for the first time, that we do everything by a roll call vote just for clarity.
I agree with that. We will be doing roll call vote on everything we do tonight. All councilors understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, so moved as recommended.
have a motion.
Second.
Motion approved. Resolution number 4 for 2020. Roll call, please.
Mayor Mahler,
Yes.
Councilor Gorley,
Yes.
Councilor Trask,
Yes.
Councilor Gerson,
Yes.
Councilor Nash,
He's muted. He's gonna have to unmute.
Councilor Nash.
can you hear us?
He's muted. His mic there.
There we go. It muted itself. Yes.
Councilor Goebel,
Yes.
Councilor Coleman,
Yes.
Yes.
Let the record show we have 7 ayes with no nays. Approval of resolution number 4 for 2020. At this time, I will read a proclamation declaring a state of emergency for the city of Sweet Home. Whereas the city of Sweet Home has the authority granted under ORS Chapter 401 and Sweet Home Municipal Code Chapter 2.52.030 that provides the direction of the city, its officials, and others in the event of emergency that exists within the city. And whereas the city Sweet Home Municipal Code, Chapter 2.52, designate the city manager as the City of Sweet Home Emergency Program Manager. And whereas Sweet Home Municipal Code, Section 2.52.040, parentheses A, empowers the Emergency Program Manager to request the Sweet Home City Council to proclaim the existence of a state of emergency for the city of Sweet Home. And whereas the novel coronavirus COVID-19 is a respiratory disease that may result in serious illness or death and is easily transmissible from person to person. And whereas on January 31st, 2020, the United States Department of Public Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar declared the public emergency for the novel coronavirus COVID-19 beginning on January 27, 2020. And whereas on March 8, 2020, Governor Kate Brown declared the state of emergency exists in all counties in the state of Oregon due to the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the state. And whereas on March 13, 2020, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, declared a public emergency for the novel coronavirus, I keep saying it wrong, apologies, COVID-19 beginning on March 13, 2020. And whereas on March 16, 2020, the Lynn County Board of Commissioners signed a proclamation of emergency due to the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the county, thus enabling Lynn County government to take extraordinary measures. And whereas the health, safety, and welfare of the Sweet Home residents, businesses, visitors, and staff is the utmost importance to the city, and additional future measures may be needed to protect the community. And whereas the city may require additional assistance in the future, and formal declaration of emergency allows additional resources to flow to the city in a timely fashion. And whereas existing conditions related to the COVID-19 warrant the proclamation of emergency as defined by Sweet Home Municipal Code Section 2.52.020. And whereas Sweet Home City Council met and passed a resolution proclamation declaring a state of emergency for the city of Sweet Home. And now, therefore, I, Greg Muller, Mayor of the city of Sweet Home, do hereby proclaim the city council authorization a state of emergency in the city of Sweet Home, and during the existence of the said emergency, powers, functions, and duties of the Sweet Home Emergency Program Manager and the emergency organization of the city shall be those prescribed by state law and by ordinances and resolutions of the city. Said state of emergency shall exist for the period of time during which conditions of the COVID-19 exist, which have given rise to the proclamation. The local emergency for the COVID-19 shall continue until terminated by the mayor of the city of Sweet Home, state of Oregon, proclaimed the 19th day of March 2020. It is further declared that the emergency occurred of goods and services are authorized pursuant to ORAD 279B.080 and all other applicable laws and rules. Moving on to request for council action, resolution number 5 for 2020.
Resolution number 5 for 2020 is a resolution adopting the City of Sweet Home Pandemic Response Plan. As you recall, we discussed at the last meeting that we have been planning for an event like this. I have to share with you, Council, that staff has been phenomenal. Once we started responding in a formal manner last week, department heads, Tommy Legia, worked through the weekend, have worked 10, 12 hours a day over the past week to make sure that we're communicating well with the public, to make sure we have the latest information possible. We've been reaching out to just about every possible agency we can think of and get in touch with regarding information. Tommy has done a tremendous job with this. Tommy developed this plan. And I don't think I need to remind you of Tommy's resume doing these kinds of things. The only thing is there is one typo, page 15. It says section 5 and it should say section 3. you can find anything else, let us know. Otherwise, if you have questions for Tommy, there were a couple changes we made today. Specifically, one was and those are marked in here, I believe, for you. We did extend it when we came up with this, a week and a half or so ago. We didn't know what we were facing. We had a 30-day timeline on it. We've extended that to a 90-day timeline, given what we're learning now. So if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them. And again, I can't thank Tommy enough for his work on this.
I have to agree with you, Mr. Tower. I think the entire city staff has done a phenomenal job, and hats off to Tom. Any questions of council?
So I have been given access to that plan. So could I get a copy of it?
Okay, any other questions, councilors?
I have none.
Okay. Okay, I need a directive of city council.
To do number 4.
Number 5.
Okay.
Question for council, resolution number 5, 2020.
I make a motion that we move on with resolution number 5 to 2020.
Second
I
that.
have a, Councilor Diane Gerson has seconded that. Or what's Coleman, my correction. Councilor Coleman seconded. Councilor Trask, first motion. We're gonna do it by roll call, please.
Mayor Mahler,
Yes.
Counselor Gorley,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Gerson,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Goebel,
Yes.
and Counselor Coleman.
Yes.
Record show we have 7 ayes with no nays approving resolution number 5 for 2020. Request for council action.
Yes.
Temporary policy response to COVID-19.
Cities around the state are, this is just unheard of times. And so we're all trying to develop these policies. City managers around the state are sharing policies, trying to develop good policies on how to deal with this. What you have in front of you, the most recent version is one that's been vetted by an attorney that we're utilizing and feel is best fits our needs. It kind of spells out how we will react and what we will do, how we will treat situations, dealing particularly with employees. And we would ask that you consider that this evening. I would like to point out it's flexible and ongoing. It points out that we will review it every 14 days. We will make whatever changes are necessary and fair and whatever is in line with what we learn, because we're literally learning new things about this every day, every hour, every couple of hours. There's new information and new data that's coming out. So the title specifically says flexible and evolving for a reason.
Any questions of councilors?
I have none.
I need a council directive.
So moved as recommended.
I'll second that.
A motion and second by roll call, please.
Mayor Mahler,
Yes.
Counselor Gorley,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Mr. Mayor, are we on the,
We are on the temporary policy response.
okay, all right,
COVID-19.
yes.
Counselor Gerson,
Yes.
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Goebel,
Yes.
Counselor Coleman,
Yes.
Let the record show we have 7 ayes with no nays. Approval of temporary policy response to COVID-19.
Yes.
Request for council action, revised personnel policy, emergency response duties.
again, this is a change to our current language in our current policy. Again, I apologize, you did receive a couple different versions of this. The most recent version, clean version, is on page 33. Essentially, we've, I guess it's kind of self-explanatory again. We're just trying to figure out the best way to deal with the situation at hand.
Okay. Any questions for counselors?
Mr. Mayor, Ray, is it, this is the policy where we pay them if they're held off duty?
No,
It's not,
it
okay,
is not.
okay,
There is no policy against that.
okay, all right.
Any other questions for counselors? Okay, any council directed?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Counselor Trask and a second by Counselor Gold. All in favor by roll call, please.
Mayor Mahler,
Yes.
Counselor Gorley,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Gerson,
yes,
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Goebel,
Yes.
Counselor Coleman,
Yes.
Let the record show we have 7 ayes, no nays. Approval of revised personnel policy, emergency response duties. Request for council action, emergency relief for city utility accounts and other city fees.
We have already seen some data from the state on claims for unemployment. It's been pretty drastic. We anticipate the people of our community are going to need some help and some relief. This is our first effort in doing that. I'll turn over to Blair if he wants to talk about it. Blair wrote this. Go ahead, Blair.
Yeah, essentially, the idea is for businesses is to make sure that if a business needs to essentially close their doors, that they're not going to be accruing additional charges. As you are aware, we have base fees that we charge on our utilities. This policy would basically say, if you don't have usage and you're closed, please get in touch with us, first of all. And second of all, we will either waive late fees or we will pay for your base fee out of economic development funds that we have. For residents, we have a policy to urge them to get in touch with us if they need assistance, and we will work with them on a case-by-case basis. Options will include waiving late fees, putting them on payment plans, that kind of thing. But it also leaves open options at the city manager's discretion that may help them to continue to have service. The other factor that's in this policy is that the city will, for the duration of this emergency, the city will not be shutting water off in the interests of basically just basic compassion, but also hygiene necessary for an outbreak such as this. I think that.
Any questions of counselors?
I have none.
Any council directive?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second by roll call, please.
Mayor Mahler,
Yes.
Counselor Gorley,
Yes.
Counselor Trask,
Yes.
Counselor Gerson,
yes,
Counselor Nash,
Yes.
Counselor Goebel,
Yes.
Counselor Coleman,
Yes.
Let the record show we have 7 ayes, no nays. Approval of emergency relief of city utility accounts and other city fees. At this time, I will read a proclamation. Proclamation urging compassion and flexibility from leaseholders and lenders during the coronavirus emergency. Whereas novel coronavirus COVID-19 is a respiratory disease that may result in a serious illness or death and is easily transmissible from person to person. And whereas public emergencies have been declared by the governments of the United States, the state of Oregon, Greene County, and the city of Sweet Home. And whereas the novel coronavirus COVID-19 emergency has resulted in the closure of business, reduction of work hours for employees, and other measures that negatively impact the local economy. And whereas Sweet Home City Council met and passed by motion the proclamation for the city of Sweet Home. And now therefore, I, Greg Muller, Mayor of the city of Sweet Home, do hereby proclaim that the good of our local economy necessitates flexibility and compassion for all those that are affected financially by the novel coronavirus COVID-19 emergency. With the support of the city council and the city of Sweet Home, I urge the leaseholders and lenders to act in compassion and flexibility and assist in their tenants, customers, and debtors with deferred payments, payment plans, temporary discounts, or other methods that may help them stay in their homes or places of business. Proclaim the 19th day of March 2020. Okay. Next is the cancellation of March 24th, 20 City Council meeting. And I would imagine we need to have a roll call on that.
I believe you just get to do that as the mayor. I think that's your prerogative.
Okay.
You're required to meet once a month. This would suffice that requirement.
Okay.
So
If there's no objection to any of the councilors, I've requested to cancel the March 24th council meeting. That way we have several weeks to let this work itself out, hopefully in a positive way. Any objections? Okay. We are hereby canceling the March 24th, 2020 City Council meeting. I have nothing other than report on the mayor's report, other than I hope all the city councilors, and especially Councilor Gerson, that you stay safe. And everybody take care of themselves, take care of their family. Appreciate all the support of the city and the councilors during this time. It's an extraordinary time. And I hope that everybody does stay safe and take this seriously, because it is a serious matter, and that we get resolved sooner than later regarding this matter.
I'd just like to thank the council for their patience. It's been a whirlwind the past week. It's been a whirlwind the past 24 hours. And again, I need to thank staff. They've been incredible over this past 8 to 10 days.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to comment too. I think that the city employees are doing a really good job too. Just keep up the good work, and it's our responsibility to make sure that you give this. If we're not doing that, then let us know, and we'll be able to get with you and do your thing, okay?
Police chief, he's not present.
He's here.
Oh, is he here?
I am online. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Chief Lynn, do you have anything you want to say?
I'll just pass along that we've been preparing. We have plans in place, and our whole goal is to really continue to provide services that the community needs with as little disruption to that as possible. Our biggest thing we're trying to initiate is the common theme, the social distancing, and so hopefully this passes as quickly as possible with the least interruption for police services.
Thank you, Chief. And tell your guys, keep up the good work. They're doing a great job during this time.
I'll do that. Thank you.
City Attorney, Mr. Snyder, anything you'd like to add or say?
No, just everybody be safe.
Okay. Any of the councilors want to add one last thing? Okay. We will go ahead and adjourn the special city council at 6:55.